Welcome to the master, guys. We are finally back again for the very first out of, well, supposedly it was supposed to be 2 reaction videos, brothers and sisters. But there was so much noise going on upstairs, guys. I could not continue. I actually started this earlier on, but I had to stop because I had to start and stop and stop and start and back and forth, and I was just going crazy, brothers and sisters. So I actually had to just stop myself from going mad, brothers and sisters. Because trust me, these things, when you're doing this kind of reactions, brothers and sisters, you want to ensure that you're on pinpoint when it comes on to them things, especially because it's flowing so sweet. And then you have to start and stop, and then the noise making, then you stop, and then when you start back, then it boom, and then it was just going crazy, brothers and sisters. But we made it thus far. Hopefully the noise doesn't start back. The noise doesn't start back. And of course, with that said, guys, big up the Mystelics YouTube family for tuning into another reaction video. And the newcomers are there, the new people, definitely big up all yourself as well for definitely dropping by and saying, Mystelics, we have been in the building and we come to the door to see what's up. And look our peace sign. All you saying, all the peace sign. We're talking about the peace sign, guys. Give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that right there. And of course, if you're new to this channel, definitely subscribe and turn on that post notification. Click subscribe, click the bell, and then click all. all, brothers and sisters, so you can get all the videos as they tend to come through right there. This is a video that was on my mind, and I definitely had to do this one right there. And of course, it starts out saying the chef. Of course, this is my boy. For those of you who don't know, I think a number of you guys tend to get this. You guys must read my boy. There's some interesting stuff inside there when it comes down to what my boy is definitely saying. But the chef said that SKERRIT and his gangs of passport vendors continue to put Dominica in a bad light. In shame, in shame when it comes down to the international community, brothers and sisters. Well, I even said it there on the international stage. She said an Iranian born with a Dominican CBI passport is not well. He's on a beach somewhere chilling. No, he's on the Interpol's most wanted list yet again. Another one of Dominica given passport via CBI. Another one is from the is on the list. We know about Alison Maduke. We know about what is the other one? The Montfarred. We know about these people there. We know about the setup and not the white lady in the United States. We know about the setup. Those people who like to do fraud. Well, apparently, I wouldn't be surprised if this one is fraud as well. But of course, my boy is stating that Mehdi Embarahim, whatever, we're not going to hurt our mouth, our tonsils not going to bleed with them kind of last name there. Why are you giving your child that last name for? Why? Why are you wicked? Why are you wicked? Are you wicked? So, anyways, guys, Ibrahim Sharatabida, all right, Badi, all right, was placed on Interpol's red notice on October 27th. 2022. That was about 3 months ago. October, November, December, January, brothers and sisters. Of course, we are ending January right there. The helper said no, like did Labor red notice to fool. The helper said no, like the Labor red notice to fool labor rights with half of a ham. Well, you know they like to present the ham on Christmas. If they do it, or you know they might pretend they want to do it, and then they give people ham and they we get ham because you cannot afford it. That is crazy because they have killed the economy. Anyways, the chef said, with all these fraudsters and criminals in possession of our passports. Interesting. You thought he was going to stop, and the Prime Minister did say some time back that he's very sad about what has happened. He has indicated that it was very sad. I actually had a list of the criminals that had our passports and stuff. I don't know where that will go. I guess I have to go inside my archives to see where that goes, to see where it went, and then bring it out for you. But there was an article out there that literally had these things of the number of people who have obtained Dominican passports and diplomatic passports as well, because the people I'm talking about there was Alison Maduke and Montfarred. These people are diplomatic passports. They were ambassadors to Dominica, which is very, very interesting right there. What on ambassadorship have they done? We don't know. Well, at least Ambassador Ian is going to Cuba soon, I'm guessing. I don't know what his team, maybe he might say Dominican and ambassadorize in Cuba. Anyways, while Anthony Hayden is apparently in charge. Anyways, I miss a point there. People like Scam Raphael and Sugar George. I don't know. I know about the Raphael fella, but I don't know is the Sugar George personal. You can let me know in the comment box below as well. But of course, Sam Raphael and Sugar George are still defending these ills of Tomati SKERRIT right there. While Anthony Hayden is in charge of what? All of Dominica's passport from passport vendor vending money like his personal, slot machine. Yes. She said that the members of NATO are justified to shut down. Yes. When they realize that Dominica and all the other countries, because they have one Dominica saying you should not use coming to our country as a selling point. They stated this. And apparently Dominica and the others did not want to listen. They don't want to listen. They're still doing it. So, of course, 2025, I think, is when they're going to be shutting down the spot right there with the CBI vibrations. The helper said that Mano Nantan Sabin. Whoever. Oh, we know. Okay, I get it. Mano Nantan Sabin will still come and stammer like nothing happened. They will pretend as if nothing is going on. Talking about that, guys, I actually heard SKERRIT on the radio. And he was talking about the same thing about passports and what have you and everything like that. And, don't worry about what other people have to say and this kind of things. But we know from a track record basis. We may be speaking the truth, but I highly doubt, brothers and sisters, because even if he's not at pellet point, he just lying. Just lie. You just want to lie. You just wake up in your bed, boy. Boy, today I'm just going to lie to the people. That is what I think SKERRIT probably does when he wake up. He just want to come and lie to the people. What lie I can tell these people? I like it so much. Maybe just come and lie. Because he has a track record of doing this before, brothers and sisters. Come and lie to the people. And then you just have to swallow it. No, this is why I always tell people, take everything our leaders say at the top, especially this whole Rona situation, should have taught you when they come and say, oh, this is nice, and yes, take it, and they're on the media saying, yes, man, trust it and whatnot, only to find out that they haven't done the proper procedures, and knowing that the very medication they were giving individuals doesn't help. But anyways, who is Mystelics who say the truth now? Especially when the leaders want to pretend they are saying the truth when they lie. So we have to be very mindful of that. But on the basis of this whole passport situation, and I'll play an audio in a while that will give you a proper insight of this. I'm thinking to myself, if the Prime Minister is talking on the radio and telling us, there's nothing to be worried about, don't worry about what people say and all those kind of things there. I mean, the logical thing to do, especially if considering you were one of the individuals who bought your passport or paid the fees for your passport or renewed your passport last year, brothers and sisters, you paid the fees last year or 2 years ago. You have a 10 years thing for your passport. They're telling you now that you have to come and buy a new passport again, even though you are paid for the previous passport. The non-E passport. That's what I call it, the non-E passport. You are paid for it, And then they tell you come and buy it again. They don't tell you come and we'll give you a free one because you paid for that already. No. So it's two things that pops into my mind, brothers and sisters. It's either one, this is a money-making vibes, and they're using the Dominican people to make more money on the Dominican people who already don't have much money. Or two, on the basis that there's something that they're hiding. Or it could just be both of them. They're making money on the people and hiding something right there. Because it only makes logical sense. If the Prime Minister is on the radio stating that, hey guys, you don't have to worry about nothing. It's not anything that's going on. We're just doing this two thing. I mean, logically, you would think, okay, I paid for my passport 2-3 years ago. Let the 10 years run. And then after the 10 years run, then you will give me the new passport. I mean, it's only logical. Correct me if I'm wrong, brothers and sisters. Let me know that in the comment box below. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think if there's nothing to worry about, you should let the passports, the present passports, them expire out. And then when they expire out, then the person can properly pay the fees, which they wouldn't mind paying. They properly pay these fees. And then after they pay the fees, then they get the new e-passport. But that is not the case. You're trying for everybody to go and get it. There was even a lie that was being told last time, and it's only in December you guys come and rectify that lie, say no, you don't have to pay $500 for in the new year. You were trying to get people to take it. That was the basis of the whole thing. They were trying to get people to take it. And in the end of December now, they come in and tell people, no guys, you don't have to pay $500 and blah, blah, blah. But now they're making a new rule in January stating that after January 31st, which is today, you will not be able to use your passport to travel. So therefore, they're trying to push something. They're trying to push something. And what is happening? Anyways, there's some rather interesting information I must continue on this regard. Let's listen to this audio right there. This is not Dominican, but this is somebody who's familiar with the CBI program in the Caribbean when it comes down to Antigua, Dominica, and St. Kitts. Take a listen.
With Antigua and with Dominica, you can definitely sell your Bitcoin, sell your crypto, sell whatever you have, your altcoins.
Remember when Dominica entered into the cryptocurrency vibes last year? Yes, last year it was. They entered into the cryptocurrency game last year. I think they associated to Canada, but there's a whole other thing that people don't seem to understand. This is why I'm telling people to be very careful, especially understanding how the world is going right now. You cannot seem to trust your leaders. Why? Because especially what took place in Canada, and Dominica linked with Canada, which is very interesting for that whole crypto thing. They linked with Canada on the understanding when there was a whole trucker situation that took place where the truckers were against the system. They were blocking the finance. They were blocking GoFundMe. They were blocking the crypto as well. They blocked all of them so that the people would not be able to get funds. And therefore, the only way the truckers could get funds was that people had to hand their money directly. So if that is the case, you have to understand maybe there's something going on when it comes down to these things. And just like what happened with the FTX partner, where he took $16 billion of this people money to give to the Democratic Party. He took it. He took these people money like that. The money just vanished from people. And some individuals are telling me that they put their money in a digital wallet and all those kind of things there. And yes, sure, it's more secure. But when it comes down to the digital interface, brothers and sisters, digitally, nothing is secure. There's one thing I have to mention, guys. A lot of people don't seem to understand. And I learned this from the whole situation involving Andrew Tate. They were looking at his messages through his WhatsApp. Now, WhatsApp has this thing called encryption. And you would think that is the encryption they don't get to. But they were using the same thing to get to his WhatsApp messages, and they tell you it's encrypted. Be mindful of what they are. Be mindful what you send over WhatsApp too, because remember, WhatsApp is also associated to Facebook. For those of you who are associated to WhatsApp and have WhatsApp on your desktop, remember you don't have to have. Back in the day, you had to use your phone and ensure your phone had internet connection so that your WhatsApp web or whatever can work on your laptop. But now they don't have that. So it's like they have created a proxy phone number for your thing and put it on WhatsApp. But I say I going too far. But I suspect I have to tell you because some of you don't know. They make a proxy phone number for your phone number and put it in, and therefore your WhatsApp is able to function without your phone being connected. It's interesting stuff, ain't it? And remember, WhatsApp is also Facebook's own. Just like Instagram. And you know, Facebook has a record of taking on your data. You can literally go in and find the data and see who is being shared. And they don't tell you these things, you know. You can go in and find out where your data is going, brothers and sisters. But anyways, I'm going too far. Let's get back to this. I'm going too far.
And pay for the passport, and they would not have a problem with that. The due diligence, not as strong as St. Kitts. They've been around almost as long as St. Kitts, and Kitts is really the oldest one, the platinum brand. That's why I really chose it.
So he chose St. Kitts, but he's talking about Dominica, obviously, stating that Dominica, and I think Antigua he mentioned as well, but specifically Dominica, he's stating that the due process is not properly done. He just said that.
Not have a problem with that. The due diligence, not as strong as St. Kitts.
The due diligence is not as strong as St. Kitts because Dominica has a track record.
They've been around.
And we're talking about our passports, our passports we're talking about.
Almost as long as St. Kitts, and Kitts is really the oldest one, the platinum.
So St. Kitts has a proper due diligence being done so that the passports do not fall in the hands of criminals. And we know Dominican passport has formed. Dominican passports and diplomatic passports has fell into the hands of criminals. Fraudsters, billions. And we wonder, they say birds of a feather flock together. And you look at Dominica and how much money Dominica is missing. $4.3 billion is missing. Fraudsters, show me your friends. I'll show you who you are. Show me your friends. I'll show you who you are. That seems to be a true statement when it comes down to this situation right there.
Brand, that's why I really chose it. plus many other reasons. But
I think one of the other reasons is because you know of the associations that the other passports have with fraudsters and criminals.
Dominica is definitely one that people know about. People already know about Dominica.
What do they know about?
The only problem that I see with it is its history. So it has a lot of history with a lot of criminal people.
So couldn't be as a result of the amount of people having criminal passports. There's a reason why the Prime Minister then wants to I mean, it makes logical sense. If the Prime Minister come in and say, no, that's not the case, we're doing things, blah, blah, blah. But why are you forcing people to run and take it? Why?
Getting into it, a lot of very shady characters, people that were involved in some, let's say, political disputes, getting into the Dominica Citizenship by Investment Program.
Remember they took Ali Reza Montfred and had him hiding in Dominica, and then them Labour people saying, he's in Dominica Republic, he was hiding. No, they catch him in Dominica Republic. If my mind so big problem, but he was hiding in Mont Daniel. The man was hiding in Mont Daniel, boy.
And that has given the passport a very negative view around the world by some diplomats and by some very important people.
And it would make sense why the other countries are saying this could be dangerous. Look at what is happening with Antigua and the whole people flying from Cameroon and Nigeria coming into Antigua for them to try to end up in Mexico so they can end up inside the thing. And look, there's a whole situation now, and them Africans are they want to send back them Africans, from my understanding. That's another reaction I have to do, guys. That's another one I have to do. I was reading up on that a little bit. But they want to send back the Africans, and the Africans checking. We want to claim asylum because there's war going on in our country. Well, they want to send us back. Boy, but that is it. Boy.
Around the world. So if you are trying to compare which one you should go for, if you're just looking merely at the price, let's say you want to save yourself the $50,000 of St. Kitts and you just want to go for the $100,000 donation and you want to put that $50,000 into Bitcoin, or you want to do whatever you want with that $50,000, then definitely that would be the cheapest passport. If you're going to have it as your only passport, I highly encourage you to maybe consider the other options, consider Antigua, consider the other possibilities that we have in terms.
But when I look at guys, that's the only audio I got there. It's just like I suspect this was longer, but this is the only audio part that I got right there. But when it comes down to St. Kitts, I think St. Kitts is doing well, and they have done. I mean, he even indicated this. Dominica has a track record back in the day, versus St. Kitts has done proper due diligence. You don't hear criminals go in St. Kitts, not to my knowledge. Maybe you guys know. If you guys know, let me know. You've heard of a number of Caribbean islands, Antigua and Dominica are definitely one of these who have harboring quote-unquote criminals. They even tried to send one go, and this is why I had to do the next reaction being on Chokski. This is why the next reaction I had to do today was on Chokski to follow up. But hey, things happen, and so it is. And of course, I must make mention of this very thing right there, brothers and sisters, brought about by Angelo Allen, and he was saying some very interesting thing. This was something I received probably 2 or 3 days ago, brothers and sisters. And of course, breaking news! Sorry if I disturb some of all you. I wake up. Yeah, I'll have to wake up, man. That's serious vibes. Here's why Dominica's passport must be changed immediately. Corruption, fraud. That is what is being stated right here. According to a report in Cyprus, 9 defendants were suspected of granting citizenship to an Iranian national who is included on the Interpol's wanted list. The person they're talking about is who is the one that has the Dominica passport. Okay? So they are saying, according to the report in Cyprus, 9 defendants were suspected of granting citizenship to an Iranian national who is included on Interpol's wanted list. And his parents, by showing fake documents to authorities, they face 36 charges, brothers and sisters. All charges shared the fact that the name TN was a false identity and the name ME was a real one. Apparently, he showed TN instead of ME. Right there. Of course, we know who his name is. You don't know you forget his name? Okay, let me go back. The ME partner, if all you don't remember. Look at there. Look at the Medi, the ME partner. Okay, all right. You got it. TN it showed was a false that he presented, and name ME was a real one right there. That was the ME was his real name right there. Mehul Abiraba, whatever. However, the applicant for naturalization had a passport bearing the name TN from the where? Commonwealth of Dominica. For those of you who don't know who that is this individual right there. Okay? So it could be that he's on the wanted list already. You know, they're not too friendly with what is going on, the international community when it comes down to the passport vibrations. And so apparently he has two names. Or is it Medi? Anyways, yeah, I think that's the parents or whatever. So Iran, Dominica. Remember Al Jazeera, guys? Al Jazeera was talking about Cyprus as well. And he has both Cyprus, Dominica, and Iran. Interesting stuff right there, brothers and sisters. The notice data on his website, updated every hour. The blah, 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 blah. On the Interpol charges was fraud. So I was correct. Seems like we have a lot of people trying to escape for fraud vibes that they taking place, brothers and sisters. And you know, that's his real name right there. His real name, go up there. That's his real name, but he used the TN name instead. So all these things that we've seen right there, brothers and sisters, all this information that seems to be coming out, and that is the individual right there. He has a Dominica passport. Was due diligence done? But he's wanted for fraud. Come in. All right then. So, that was a good thing that was asked at the end of this. The point pointed out, Prime Minister SKERRIT should address the nation. More to come. Well, you're always trying to address the nation, but never addressing the nation. You just come and lie for the people. You know, that's the rule right there. That is the article that you're talking about. 9 defendants cleared of all charges in the first Cyprus because they didn't know about the whole thing. You guys can read this stuff for yourself. They didn't know. And of course, all charges shared the fact that the name TN was a false identity, the name, and it pretty much saying that they did not know. The court also stressed, but how they didn't know and they doing due process. I find a way there. You doing due process. Well, then again, if you present, but then don't you have to look at the well, then again, maybe the false documents were all false. So he was on the most wanted list, not most wanted, but Interpol's list, wanted list, and then he presented false documents, maybe false police records, false birth certificate, false driver's license, or whatever the documents they need to verify. And all this on the east side, guys, the east side people that, you know, they just make all kind of things. They just make all kind of things. This is why the UK specifically, you know, the EU specifically told Dominica to stop, and not just Dominica, but on another country as well. I can't remember its name. Stop getting into our country without a visa, with the visa waiver free program. You can get in using, you have all Dominica and passports and things. You can fly to a number of countries for 30 days or 3 months or whatever it is. You can fly there, and you know, and for like a vacation or something, visa free. But you know that's gonna affect Dominicans, right? For those of you who don't know. Well, for those of you who don't know, well. Anyways, according to this thing, it was never proven that the defendants of any of them knew TN. So they didn't know the person, and of course they didn't know the person. Maybe the person presented documents, but how can you verify? You're doing due process, but then again, it's Dominica. Dominica, they probably present the documents to the person. They agree, they accept it, they photocopy the documents and put it there and say, okay, boom, bang, go through and whatnot. Because you know Dominica doesn't always do proper due process when it comes down to the citizenship by investment program. This is why the international community is having a hard time swallowing this thing. So when you see this kind of information coming up, brothers and sisters, you have to ask yourself as Dominicans, what if this then falls on us? What if they decide, you know what, like Canada, because Dominica used to have a visa free with Canada, you know, or you know that? Dominica used to have visa free travel to Canada. But apparently Dominica didn't meet the criteria. That happened in my lifetime, by the way. My lifetime. I was a little boy. Anyways, Dominica used to have it, and Canada say all you don't meet the criteria again, so back you need visa to come to Canada. Well, some of all you need visa to come to Canada. Some of us too. Anyways, there's a whole lot of story right there. Now, if that same thing has to happen to UK to the European Union and to a number of the other places, then that's gonna affect Dominicans. So we are thinking maybe that's why they decide to rush this thing, and it makes sense. It makes sense because we heard of these criminals obtaining Dominica passports through fraudulent means, faking the documents and what have you, blah blah blah, and presenting it. Dominica doesn't do proper due process, so as a result of not doing proper due process, they just accept it because they get any money, and then they say, okay, well, look at passport, only to find out that a number of these guys actually had the Dominica passport under fraudulent means, which means due process was not properly done. So they decide, hey guys, let's see if we can just switch into a better thing. Maybe we'll actually have to get the documentations or what have you, and then we'll get the cheap passports, e-passport. I don't know why they call it e-passport. It's not like it's over the internet. Why they call it e-passport? I don't know, because they have it cheap. I really don't get it. But hey, it is what it is, guys. And of course, on the basis of this whole thing, you understand why most likely there's a reason why Dominica is trying to force into the e-passports. Because if there's no issue, then we should let the old passport expire and then you go and buy the new one. But no, they're forcing you to get the one. So if you had to if you had bought your passport 2 or 3 years ago and you had it 10 years, you have 7 years remaining. You then have to buy another passport. That making sense? And then the government will come and tell you, no, nothing is going on. We just want to get you into that system, blah, blah. Who are you telling that? Who are you telling that? This didn't happen too long ago, guys. 3 months ago, they put this guy on the Interpol on watch list using fraudulent documents to get Dominica passports. And then they can enter into other places visa-free. I remember reading a document, brothers and sisters, and I think the document was saying something about the people who are born in Dominica have the visa-free waiver. They have the visa waiver, and the people who have obtained the passport through citizenship by investment would need to get a visa. I think there's something they were looking at, something like this, when it comes down to the ending of it in 2025. So they were looking something, in that aspect. And I think that would be much better to protect us because we are the innocent ones. But then again, who is truly innocent when you are the ones putting people in positions to do things for you? And they're doing this craziness. And they're not doing the proper due process that needs to be done when it comes to this thing. I know a number of persons have indicated to me that they are not for the whole selling of passports. Guys, all countries, from my knowledge, even the United States. The United States sell their passport for $500 to $1 million. Dominica sells its own for what? $100,000. St. Kitts sell their own for what? $50,000. So a number of places tend to sell their passports as a result of getting proper citizens. But apparently Dominica is known for getting terrible citizens. Yes, rich citizens, but terrible citizens. People who are trying to evade their country for doing craziness. But hey, so you guys probably understand what I'm saying. Probably that's why, the reason why, they have obtained passports in a number of ways and they said, what, let's go to the e-passport way. So the people who have the old passports will then have to get a new passport and, and they have to do the due process and everything like that. So those who have obtained our passport through fraudulent means, they will not be able to get the passports. I think that is probably why they're doing it. But let me know your thoughts, guys, because that is the only thing that makes sense. SKERRIT can't tell us, oh no, nothing happening, man, nothing happening. You try to force people to go and buy passport when they just buy passport 2, 3, 4 years. I know that a partner buy his passport a year ago. He showed it to me. I buy my passport a year ago, and my brother have to buy another passport. Buy no passport, boy. That is what the boy tell me. He said no buy the passport, boy. Them no. Hey, we don't laughing. I say, well, wherever you can travel. He say, well, I'll travel on my license. That's what he said. I'll travel on my license. You can travel across the Caribbean on a license, brothers and sisters. For those of you who don't know. No, you know. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in this regard. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Give this video a thumbs up if you understand it. If you want to see more, definitely subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can get more videos as they tend to come through. Sad state of affairs when it comes down to Dominica and, or bad rep. Even the Prime Minister has admitted that is very sad. Even the Prime Minister has admitted That is very sad about this situation right there. So, hey, but you are the one to blame, nobody else. You are the one to fully blame for that, Mr. Prime Minister. And I remember I had the documents of the amount of criminals that obtained our passports, both for our diplomatic passports and our passports. It seems like this is continuing every year, and that's just those we know. Hey, what are your thoughts, man, guys? What are your thoughts? And what do you think about our missing $4.3 billion that is still outside there? There's another thing that I saw I was going to post in this, but that's too long already. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Boom, bye.